This is FE Peer Review, the Flat Earth Peer Review channel. The date is July 19th, 2020. The video in review is titled FE Debate, Bob the Science Guy versus FE Stingray. The video is on the channel Common Sense Science. This is a little different than my usual peer review in that I'm not reviewing a specific observation or experiment. I wanted to point out a technique or a tactic that's being used in this debate and show how it should be properly addressed. Now, this debate between Bob the Science Guy and Stingray, I should say Stingray is not actually somebody who accepts flat Earth. He's not a flat Earth proponent. He accepts the evidence of globe Earth science. However, he's taking on the role of a flat Earth proponent for purposes of the debate. This is something that's commonly done in classical debate. In fact, if you join the debate society at a place like Oxford University, you'll find that there's a common exercise where two people will take opposite sides debating an issue, and then later they will come back and they will have the exact same issue to debate. However, they will reverse the sides they were on. This is a great way and a very difficult thing to do, and a great way to learn debate tactics. So that's kind of what we're seeing here. Stingray is playing the role, you might say, of a flat earther. I think he's doing a good job of it. But he's using a tactic that I have heard them use often, and I wanted to address that with this comment. Here's the relevant clip from the original video.
So is this something that you've got out and personally verified, Bob? Or is it just the rhetoric of scientific consensus?
Well, unfortunately, there is no requirement in science for me to personally verify anything.
So it's faith then, still faith.
Part of the tenet of science is that you build on the work done before you. So
how do you verify? Wait, just really quickly, Bob. How do you verify if that's right? Because if that was the case, wouldn't I still be sticking leeches to myself to cure some ailments if all we did was build upon previous knowledge?
I'm going to just start by reading the comment I left on the comment section on the video. And I'm going to just leave my notes up here on the screen. You all can see them as I read along. And then when I get to the end of what I wrote on the comment on the video, I'll probably just riff a little bit on these thoughts a little further, hopefully not ramble too much. So here's what I wrote in the comment section. No, if people try to use this argument and claim that we take the work of scientists on faith, this must not be allowed to pass. It is not faith, it is trust. We must insist on that. Scientists work within a social and professional structure that demands ethical behavior. There is an assumption that people will act honestly in their work, and consequently, we trust the results of their work. However, if they betray that trust, fake data, plagiarism, etc., their careers can be effectively destroyed. This is the social compact we live with. We know that any person is capable of unethical behavior, but we operate within a system that grants people a presumption of innocence, an expectation that they will act ethically. Then if they betray society's trust, they are outcast. So no, it is not faith or belief. The insistence that we must be completely suspicious of the work of another person and must reproduce every scientific result ourselves is a manifestation of antisocial behavior. It is something akin to paranoia. In fact, extreme distrust of others is one of the traits associated with paranoid personality disorder, according to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. If we had lived in a society in which such extreme distrust was warranted, we would still be living in caves, roasting mammoth meat over open fires. Every generation would be having to reinvent the wheel. But we evolved past that. Language gave us the ability to document, preserve, and share information. Our social natures gave us the ability to work successfully in groups. By passing down the knowledge from one generation to the next, each generation was able to build on the base of the previous and advance knowledge and technology to the point where we are today, with a secure and abundant food supply, free from diseases such as tuberculosis and smallpox that ravaged our populations in the past, with the ability to travel over the entire planet and communicate across it instantaneously. This is why ethics must continue to be the foundation of all our scientific endeavors, and that doesn't just mean the researchers and professors in our universities, but also each one of us who do our little YouTube videos. We must be scrupulously accurate and honest, or we risk destroying the trust that enables us to move forward. A few more thoughts on trust versus faith. Faith is, one way to characterize faith is the acceptance of something without evidence. The acceptance of something without evidence. In religious terms, traditionally in the Western world, in the Christian world, faith is a willingness to, it's like a kind of submission, a willingness to accept ideas and beliefs without questioning them, and in so doing demonstrating your complete acceptance of the source for those ideas. This is faith, and this is fundamental to Christian dogma. To ask for proof is really suspect. To ask for proof of God's existence from God, to pray to God for signs, this is often considered suspect and not advisable. That's faith. And I'm not saying that there's anything right or wrong with faith. I'm just trying to describe it. But that's not what we do with scientists and with science. We don't accept what they give us on faith. We trust that they are working ethically and that they have done their work well. So we trust that the evidence actually exists. Now, I can't tell you, I'm not smart enough to tell you all kinds of things about string theory or to give a lecture on general relativity. I don't have the knowledge to do that. But I'm entirely confident that Einstein and the people who teach his ideas now at universities and the people who have the knowledge and skills to put those ideas to use for doing things like designing space stations, I'm entirely confident that they have the evidence, they understand the evidence, and if I had the mental ability to grasp it, I could go to these people and they could teach it to me. It exists. The evidence for it exists, and I trust that they have that evidence. That's the difference between faith and trust. It's the evidence. Faith demands that you accept without evidence. And in a sense, that's your proof of your loyalty. Your willingness to accept without evidence is proof of your loyalty to whoever it is you believe in. Whereas trust means that you know that evidence exists and that those who are expressing this idea have that evidence. So that's faith versus trust, two entirely different things, and we must not let flat earthers claim that we have faith in science. We don't have faith in science. We trust our social structure to produce good quality work. So don't let them get by with that faith business. Call them out on it. Clarify. Language is important. Clarity of thought can only happen when thoughts can be expressed in words clearly. You can't think clearly if you don't speak clearly. If you're using fuzzy language, you're probably thinking fuzzy thoughts. And I've heard a lot of fuzzy thoughts on both sides, more so among flat earthers. So I think the discipline of using the language, we need to be disciplined in how we use language. And we need to hold flat earthers to that same standard and insist and call them out on it when they're not using disciplined language. When they get into fuzzy thinking and start using fuzzy words, stop them and call them out on it. No, not faith, trust. And this is what this means. So you can't see me gesticulating here and waving my hands in the air. I prefer not to have my face splashed all over people's screens all over the world. I hope you don't mind that. But I think you can probably get a sense of what I mean without seeing me waving my hands. Hopefully this was a good, clear message. So thank you very much for following me to the end of this rant. I don't think I ranted too much. And please share this with people. I would love to have more people see this stuff. I think that maybe it's meaningful to people out there, and if you can help me bring it to their attention, that would be much appreciated. So click that like button, subscribe, and especially leave comments. I'd love to hear what you people think about some of this. And of course, have a wonderful day. That's all for now. Bye-bye.